Hey there, cutie pie. Why isn't eHEX, which is HEX from Ethereum, why isn't it 0 if the gas costs on PulseChain are much lower? It's a very interesting question. We can look at examples and explain this mystery, and I'm going to explain it here for you. Thank you very much, friends, for liking, subscribing, pressing the bell button and all. I appreciate every single one of you. You know, this is such an interesting topic. Let's go through some facts right now. So Total HEX is about 2.8 cents. So eHEX, so the Total HEX whole ecosystem, it peaked at 12.7 cents on the testnet announcement in April of this year. Since PulseChain launched, a lot of value exited with big net selling. These are the facts. I know it sucks, but this is the truth. It was an enormous sell the news. So HEX by itself was worth more than PulseX, eHEX and pHEX. Yes, that's right. You would rather go back in April and sell all your HEX and own nothing rather than own everything. You would never have thought that. What's going on here? Is the community splitting? Let's explore some stuff. Ethereum has the money. I'm going to show you. It doesn't mean that the money's going to stay there forever or that money isn't going to flow elsewhere. But Ethereum City has the money. Ethereum is New York. Everybody's trying to be Miami. Some people are even saying, we're going to be the next New York. No one's going to be the next New York. New York is New York. So let's go through, explore this. So the Total HEX, it's down 78% since the testnet. And it even made a news cycle low. Pulse was the ultimate winner. So these are the facts. We have to look at this. We have to say, okay, what happened? We're going to explore this, friends. So this is not me talking. I am here as your messenger and as your friend, same thing, to tell you what does the market say. Okay, I'm reading a language here. I'm not interjecting my own opinions. How the market reacted to PulseChain launch and cheaper fees for pHEX. So yes, we're like, oh wow, we're so much faster and cheaper than Ethereum. Yes. How much does it help the price? Let's see. What does the market really think? We're still down minus 94%. So this is Total HEX since the top. So we have not been able to break correlation. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but every altcoin's down. Yeah, but let me tell you something, okay? We had a special narrative. We had cheaper Ethereum, faster Ethereum. So this was meant to be the case of all cases where we break correlation. We're still deeply negative. We're still deeply correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum. You know, we made cheaper Ethereum. We had yield farming. Got this treasury to deploy. Got all these new ecosystems being birthed. We still can't break away from the correlation. That's to tell you something. If only you had a friend who told you this would happen. Yes. I don't want it to be this way. Oh, we want us to be decorrelated. We're not. This hurt as well. Number 2, we made a news cycle low. So down here, this little chart here, yes. We hit like 1.4 cents or somewhere here, right? Somewhere down there. We hit 1.4 cents. A news cycle low. The low of 2022 was about 1.68, 1.7 cents for HEX. So this is scratching. Everyone's scratching their heads. They're like, wait a minute. How did we make a news cycle low after Ricardo Corazon delivered on PulseChain and it's cheaper and it's faster and there's yield farms? How did that happen? We have all these amazing yield farms. Let me tell you something, friends. The market is pricing in the future. Okay? The market's pricing in the future. It's not saying everything's great today. It's saying what it thinks it's going to be in the future. Now, obviously, there are emotions at play, but this is what it is. It's not what everybody expected. That's why it's still the news. Am I holding? Of course I am. Still very bullish. Still very bullish. I'm just here to explain to you this is why things move down. This is why things move up. Emotions. Obviously, everyone is destroyed emotionally. Also, we are down versus Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's very true. If you go back to any of the sacrifices, you're better off, instead of sacrificing, dump it for Bitcoin or Ethereum. You would have held more value today. So that's another harsh truth people have to say. So no, a lot of us, let's focus on the positives. They say, yes, PulseChain's doing great. But what people don't know is there's this silly eHEX and pHEX debate out. You're shooting yourself in the foot, man. Pulse took all the value. I don't want to live in a community where everybody tells everyone, oh, Pulse won, haha. Were you one of the idiots who staked your HEX long term? Well, you're a sucker. All the value went to Pulse. Somebody won, because that's what people are effectively saying. They don't know this. How do I know this? Go look at all the YouTube comments I have. Go look at all the Twitter replies. Go look at everybody. Go speak to the people in the community. That's how new people feel. I'm here as your voice to tell you. Yeah, a lot of people tell me, they go, that's kind of sucks how the golden answer was to escape through this tiny little peephole latch, this hatch in a sinking ship. Oh, I had to escape on the left wing of the boat so I could escape, and it was PulseChain. But everything else, you get crushed. So that's how everybody feels. But that's markets, man. So welcome. Welcome, friends. I know, you get kicked in the nuts and the ovaries at the same time. We can make it. We're still going to make it. So you can't deny this truth. The total HEX value, it was sucked out with consent. No, this one was without consent. Bring the value back in. It went to PulseChain. Some value went to PulseX, but HEX got destroyed. So this whole, it's funny, there's this debate, right? pHEX and eHEX. Like, let's look at these. eHEX and pHEX. It's two people in a mental asylum fighting over who's got a bigger vote out in a country. You're trapped in a room. You're mental asylum patients. You've pooped your panties. You don't even know what day it is. Like, there is such an enormous world out there. There is no point in fighting here at all. Like, we've lost. We're losing. Okay. Now, I'm not saying we're going to lose. I haven't lost the war. Okay. Maybe this little battle. Yes. This battle we've lost because the price got crushed. Expectations ruined. Okay. But there's hope out there. Of course. Glimmering hope, friends. We're going to win. But you can't look at this and just start cannibalizing each other. Inbred cousins and twins fighting each other. No point at all. So let's explore. What does the crowd think right now? So, as I obviously, no financial advice. If you lose money, it's all on you. Just me, try to keep everything. I would personally try to keep everything in an equal ratio. Don't try to micromanage it, but put if I had 10,000 to put in, I put in a third in Pulse, a third in PulseX, and then a third in eHEX and pHEX equally. That's what I would do. And everybody's like crying about these like tiny little eHEX, pHEX, overweight, underweight. There are people who literally think I have 100% eHEX and I put it in at parity. I don't know where they get this idea. I think people see candles going down for like a day, a week, a month, and they think, oh, well, you've lost everything, haven't you? No, like, you watch these videos, friends, I've told you time and time again, is it December 2024 yet? No, it's not. Okay, so we've got 18 months, even with this. And you know what? That part can even go to zero. Who cares? You always got to protect yourself. That's why you got to, let's look at the bigger picture here. So I'm wondering, why are these people thinking about this when they've missed some bigger points? I'm here to explain to you. The HEX to Pulse ratio is about 200. So don't worry specifically about that number. But yeah, you can see it on the chart. You can see it's gone up here. And everybody's bullish on HEX, but that's of course. But what people don't know is something's gone up and now you're telling me you're bullish on it because it's gone up. That's exactly what they're doing. They don't want to say, oh, I'm bullish at the top. They'll never say that. They're going to keep saying it's going to keep sucking out value. So look at this. The crowd expects it to keep going up. But here are some key points just to remember. Number one, Pulse is a cycle 1 coin. It is the new fresh kid on the block. HEX is now old. HEX is the dirty shirt in the laundry. It's cycle 2. And you can't say to me, no, it doesn't matter, we're the best superior store of value. Are we? Let me tell you something, man. If we were so superior in store of value, then why did Richard even bother making another coin? It's something to think about. Why didn't he make HEX chain? Think about that. Why didn't he? So I've asked you this rhetorical question. It's not really rhetorical. There is an answer here. The answer lies in something called the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. 1 Bitcoin used to buy you 500 Ethereum. Now 1 Bitcoin only buys you 16 Ethereum. Do you see that? You used to buy 500, now you only buy 16. Ethereum is gaining against Bitcoin. Layer 1 chain has more market love than a boring old store of value narrative. This is the truth. Now, he's not going to go out there and say it to you because what he's doing is he'd be fighting his own HEX bag, his HEX baby. But I'm here to tell you that. That's why you got to play all the pieces of the puzzle. Okay? Go out there and show me any single coin that did better in cycle 2 versus cycle 1. a full cycle. Okay, I can only find you barely one. It was Chainlink, but you can't even call its first cycle as the first cycle. It just launched at the end. You can't find them. You know you're not going to find them. You already know, friends. You already know how much inflation is getting sent out to these guys with like $4 or $5 million HEX accounts. You're like, well, how is retail going to support $280 million coming in every year just to support the interest dumping on HEX when we've only got $2 million on the bids right now? Like, you already know the numbers intuitively. You don't even need me to say it, but it's just something to think about. Okay? Here's another thing. Ethereum is better than Bitcoin. Even Richard Hart admits this. But let me tell you something. Pulse models Ethereum. HEX models Bitcoin. So he's implied here without telling you that, you know, maybe Pulse is actually better than HEX, which is sin to even think about and suggest. Maybe it is. How do you know, man? Look, I'm going to tell you something right now. If this ETH BTC goes up, right? If ETH BTC goes up to 0.10 and it's near a flippening, do you think people are going to come in and say, give me the store of value coin? Or do you think people are going to say, let me join the general purpose layer 1 blockchains because they are going to capture all the value of the ecosystem? What do you think people are going to do? If ETH BTC is going up, do you think people are going to come in and say, give me HEX? Or do you think they're going to say, give me Pulse more? I think they're going to say, give me Pulse more, because it's what ETH is beating Bitcoin. Layer 1 chains are a new thing. That's something to think about. Store of value is great. It's needed in this world, but it's a pet rock, right? So yes, remember, HEX was the shiniest pet rock, but it's not the shiniest pet rock anymore. So there's something to think about. Now, here's the third point, which I don't know. This blew my mind. I couldn't believe this. So every single person who talks about this eHEX and pHEX, they say, save everybody, save everybody. I'm like, Habib, you know those eHEX dumpers? They also own pHEX to dump. Have you seen how many T-shares they own? Right? Do you know, for example, Gunnyboo has like 280 million HEX. He has something like, what, 30,000 T-shares? Something ridiculous. Huge. Like, he has them on pHEX too. So, you say you're saving people, but the numbers, friends, the numbers, like, you're just bringing them into a slightly, it's the same game. It really is. Instead of like there's crocodiles, okay, now it's just alligators. It's, you know, just slightly like alligators that are just 10 kilos like lighter. That's it. They're not as dangerous. You know, I have a question here from Mr. Juan. Juan's asked me, do you have any opinions on ordinals under Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin? So ordinals, look, man, we've already got Ferraris and Lamborghinis out there. Now what people have done is they made like a scooter and put a Ferrari sticker on it, and they're like, wow, this scooter goes pretty fast. They're just gimmicks. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, like, why are you playing around in this when we can do things so much better? Like, the whole reason to even do altcoins on Bitcoin is like because they have such a maxi type of approach. So like, we can't leave the Bitcoin network. But I'll tell you right now, friends, the ship's already sinking. Why? Because ETH BTC is going to keep climbing higher. So it's a race against time. Because yeah, you can say ordinals and everything, but I'm just telling you right now, friends, as soon as ETH flips Bitcoin, there is literally, you're going to find so many fake people say, oh, wow, there's actually no point to own Bitcoin anymore at all. You're going to realize I was just cheering for number one. Have you ever played soccer, watched soccer, or any of the sports teams? There are people who just go, who's the best? Okay, vote behind them. That's what they do. You know, even in politics, they understand this. That's why they try to misreport whoever's winning. They try to say, oh, our guy's actually in the poll. They want people to just give up and just vote for the leader. It's a human thing. We like to follow the leader. So now I'm going to talk to you about something. This is going to blow your mind, but there's evidence here for it. So it's not even me giving an opinion. I'm just here to share with you observations in the markets. As your friend with a straight posture, wearing fluffy slippers, enjoying apples today. So if the biggest market-moving players really cared about gas costs, then our pHEX bag, it should be at 12 cents right now, not 2 cents. So why is it still down here? Why? Why are we still sell the news? It's been 3 months. The gas fees are down. We're better, we're faster, all the whatever the marketing words that were thrown out there. We're supposed to be the greatest thing ever. Why is our price still down? Why are we less than when we had testnet? Why? Why are we less than in 2022 when we did the fake launch? Think about this. So if you want to know something, friends, this was the HEX price 19 cents when we did the fake launch, when Richard said we're launching in mid-May and we didn't, and we did the dump, okay? Here, we had about 18 billion market cap for the whole ecosystem, which was just eHEX. 18 billion, okay? So today, we're about 5 billion. I don't know if you know that, right? This is 5 billion of Pulse, PulseX, pHEX, eHEX. Explain that one. That's why I made this video to explain it to you. So you're like, wait a minute. When we had higher gas costs and PulseChain wasn't launched and everything was like way worse with more expensive stuff, we were worth 18 billion. But today, after cheaper fees and all this marketing and all this great, and we got a HEX movie, we're 5 billion for all of them? Yes. Welcome to markets. Welcome to real life. It's pricing in the future. That's why this thing dumped to start pricing in the future, friends. In fact, you might say this run-up up here, that run-up up there was pricing in the launch itself. That's what happened to Ethereum. Ethereum ran up and priced in DeFi in 2017, but DeFi didn't come until 2020. It's how markets work. You're always going to be thinking about the future. If you're thinking about today, you've already lost the game. That's why you listen to me, friends. Share with your friends and family. Like, subscribe, bell button on. I appreciate every single one of you. So we're thinking about pHEX, right? Let's look at Zen. This is a great example. So remember, we want to answer the question, like, why is it pHEX like 10 cents to 20 cents? It's so much cheaper. Gas costs, it's more better. What's wrong? What's wrong? Look at this. Okay. Zen on Ethereum has a 14.5 million market cap, but the Zen on Polygon is only 4 million. That's 3%, man. 3%. How is that? Polygon has much lower gas costs, but the market value stayed on Ethereum. It refused to budge. How do you explain this? You're like, wait a minute. You're literally minting. The whole thing is to make mints. They don't even say buy Zen, but it's such a fantastic, beautiful example. Shout out to the Zen community. Beautiful example to show you. Why are you much lower on Polygon and Binance and the other chains when you're cheaper to mint here? Why? I'm going to tell you why, friends. Ethereum is New York, okay? People want to be close to the city where the money is. So people refuse to budge. The first mover advantage, the network effect. It's so hard to break a network effect, man. It's so hard to break it. It's so much easier just to join it and to try smooth it around and groom everybody and be their friend. Let's look at real numbers. Ethereum has 500,000 daily active users and it has all the money. PulseChain, shout out to Mr. Dipcatcher for releasing this info. PulseChain only has 10,000 daily active users, minus 98%. So I want to tell you something right now. If the only thing that people cared about were costs, why do we have minus 98% less people after 3 months and we're valued less than when things were more expensive compared to Ethereum? Why? Network effects, friends. They work differently than how you think. People don't really care about this gas cost part. They care more about the speculation part going up. They care about the growth. A city is built. We want to join the city. Why? Because people keep moving in. That's what they care about. No one wants to go live on the island by themselves, besides like a few people. But hey, the island, there's fluffy slippers. There's coconuts that grow from the trees. Imagine you don't ever have to pay for groceries. Literally coconuts from the trees. There's banana trees. There's no costs, right? It's not a city. We love joining tribes. We love joining big tribes. We love joining the big winners. That's humans. It's human emotions. That's how we're built, how we're programmed. So in crypto, this is the interesting part. In crypto, even though it's all digital, people like hanging around the city where all the money is. It's fascinating. You know, all you literally have to do is go to pulseramp.com or go to any bridge over. And don't, you know, people are going to say, oh, but it's not safe. Yeah, it is. No one really cares, right? Like, it's just, friends, a little bridge. It takes 2 seconds. If the gas cost, like, people travel around the world. There's worse costs, you know. You get a virus, plane explodes, you get lost in the Bermuda Triangle, you know what I mean? And UFO ship just zaps you out of the sky. A lot of things can happen. People don't care. It's a speculation about better times, okay? We don't really care about that gas cost. We don't price in that risk really effectively. So we didn't care about these bridging, danger, etc. We still refuse to bridge. Fascinating, right? More examples. I used the Zen example. Meme coins. These are the best example, friends. In meme coins, it's cheaper to buy meme coins on any other chain. Yet for some reason, all the money and activity stays on Ethereum. Unibot trading, hamster coins, hedgehogs, all of these poopy coins, AI coins, all these narratives. They're not going on Binance. They're not going on Polygon. They're not going on Phantom. They're not going on Arbitrum, Optimism. A few of them are. But still, Ethereum is the city. It has the network effect. We're like, what? We lowered the costs, man. People don't care, man. People don't care, okay? In fact, the cost is almost like a virtual signaling. It's like, because the cost is so much, you are a certain rank in the world and society for being able to afford it. I'm sure you've heard of this before. In society, it's like that. So it is interesting to see this observation. We lowered the costs. We made them zero. Did people move? No. They'd rather stay. It's a ranking. So look at this, man. This is truly what's going on, right? Everybody has teleport travel right now through a bridge. We can go to Binance, Polygon. We can even move back to networks of like Bitcoin or Monero or go to centralized exchanges. So we have a teleport travel, but where do we choose to go? We choose to go to New York City, and her name is Ethereum. Ethereum is New York City right now. And despite Ethereum being so ridiculously expensive, people keep traveling there and staying there. It's true. You know it's true. We all know it's true. Ethereum has all the daily active users and the money. Want to know what's funny? Ethereum has not been able to push higher daily active users, yet Arbitrum and Optimism, even though they get more daily active users, a lot more third world countries, Ethereum still has all the value. Why don't we see this value sinking out? Network effects, friends. The community is the asset, not the code. And this is a community of forward thinkers, innovators, builders, speculating on the future. There's a ranking type of, it's like an approval of society. Oh, you can even afford Ethereum? This is what it is. So yes, on the surface, it seems like, well, we've lowered the cost. Well, you know, I can make the cost to travel near zero, but let me tell you something. People are still going to buy Ferraris and Lambos. And if you put a Ferrari and Lambo as an option to ride between any single person out there, they're still going to take them to their weddings, to birthday events, to like school dinners. They're going to choose that. So there's a lot to think about. pHEX should be much, much higher, but it's not. So we've learned a lot from this. I'm still bullish on the whole ecosystem, friends, of course. Still bullish. Everything's still going. But don't pick a side one way. Just try to get everything. Okay, that's what I've done. It's easy to just say, oh, well, one thing's going to go up or down. All those leaders and founders that you look at, man, they get a lot of things wrong too. They're just good at talking about the stuff that they get right. That's why you remember them. So I'm not betting against Ethereum. The way I see it, honestly, to put it bluntly, I think if you are like all in, say, pHEX, you are basically, you're short Ethereum, you're long Bitcoin on this trade. HEX, a proxy for Bitcoin. Pulse, a proxy for Ethereum. It feels like that. It feels like that. The mind share of the community coming in. So I'm not going to pick a side. Get all of them. Yield farm, enjoy it. I still think we're very undervalued and we're going up. I don't know where anything lands. I don't know how the ratios are gonna be set. I don't know. All I know is that there's one thing that's ridiculously destroyed, and it's eHEX. And you can keep saying, yeah, it's going to zero, whatever. That's it. Just make an observation. It's like super, super, super low. And once again, everybody's got like this 12-hour daily chart. So you're looking at this. I've got like this. This is the chart I'm looking at. We printed a few candles. I even have the arrows here. Where we're going to be in April 2025. This is it. Lower, higher. Maybe you'll be able to yield farm along the way. There's still PulseX. There's Pulse. Think about the city, man. If it was all about the cost, why aren't we like much higher? It's not. It's more than that. You know exactly what's up, friends. The community is the asset, not the code. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Tell mum and dad we're still going to make it. We have a portfolio that respects all of the pieces of the puzzle, not just one. Catch you in the next one.